healthcare worker. I am a mother, one pissed off mother. I am the chair of the Democratic Party here in Travis County. And I am a voter. So this is going to be an interactive conversation today. If you hear something you don't like, you're going to do what? I can't hear you. If you hear something you don't like, what are you going to do? Perfect. If you hear something you do like, what are you going to do? We have a governor that when my nurses and my therapists were going out to see patients during Winter Storm Uri, when we were calling, checking on elderly in their homes freezing, did not care at all about the people in their homes who died, about my patients, or about my healthcare workers. We have yeah, that's right. Was everybody cold during Winter Storm Uri? Anyone want a governor who will fix the damn grid? Anyone want Greg Abbott deciding what you can do with your body? Anyone want Greg Abbott deciding who you can love? And who wants to elect Beto O'Rourke, the next governor of Texas? So guys, girls, and monsters, that's right. The Democratic Party has a voter's guide for you when you're on your way out. It tells you who to vote for, who we've endorsed, who the Democrats are that are fighting for your rights up and down the ballot. We're talking about abortion rights, LGBT rights, rights for voting, and rights to actually be able to read whatever book you want in school. And some of the people leading the fight here in Travis County are County Judge Andy Brown, Chairwoman and Dean of the Travis County Delegation, Donna Howard, State Board of Education member Rebecca Belmetero, Representative Gina Hinojosa, Lulu Flores, who's going to be our next state representative from House District 51. Also in the House, we have Colby Duhan with Young Democrats. We have Stephanie Baizan, who's running for Austin City Council. Y'all, it's not just the governor's race. The governor's race is a really important election, but it's every race down the ballot, particularly for our school boards. And so for all the folks who can vote in the AISD race, we have Arti Singh, who's running for school board. We have Tiffany Harrison in Round Rock. We have Chuy Zarate, who's running in Leander, and Gloria Gonzalez de Loca, who's running in Leander as well. And these are folks who are fighting against book banners, anti-maskers, and pandemic deniers. So, I don't know if you read the news, but the Republicans want to make sure that the election looks like 2018. And if we don't show up, if we don't vote, if we don't get every single person we know in our cell phones, on social media, and our friends and our family to show up and vote and tell them why it's important to you, it will look like 2018. So, raise your hand if you're going to show up. Raise your hand if you're going to do one of the two most important 4-letter words. Vote Beto. So say it with me, y'all. Vote Beto. Vote Beto. Vote Beto. Vote Beto. One badass chingona, who I'm very proud to call my friend, who's leading the charge when it comes to voting rights, when it comes to climate change, and who will not let anyone tell her which bathroom she can use in the Texas legislature, Representative Gina Hinojosa. Thank you, girl.
Hello, Austin! Hello, beautiful people of Austin. It is so good to see your smiling faces. It is so important that we come together and that we celebrate our work, we celebrate each other, and we celebrate our big, beautiful, bold community. So thank you for being here. Thank you for always having my back. Thank you for having Beto's back. We will always have your back, and together we can get this done. Woo! The election is here. And we have worked so hard. The stakes are so high that dealing with the results of this election are almost overwhelming. The anxiety is real, isn't it? Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Because we can do this. We can win. We will win. We have put in the work, and now it's time to bring it home. So let's bring it home so that every Texan can have a right over her own goddamn body. Let's bring it home in honor of the over 700 Texans who lost their lives during the blackout because of a government that didn't care and that is corrupt. Let's bring it home for those parents of the Uvalde children who were killed, who are channeling their unimaginable grief into hustling for Beto because they have made a vow that their children did not die in vain. And let's, most importantly, bring it home for ourselves, because we all deserve better. Texans deserve better. We deserve a governor who cares about us and who works for us. All right. So what can we do before this election to bring it home? I've got 3 things. First, make some noise if you are on the Reach app. That is not enough noise. So what I need everybody to do when you go home and before Monday for sure is download the Reach app. What it does is it takes your contacts and it lines it up with a voter file to find out who from your contacts, who from your friends and family have voted each day of the early vote. It keeps it within your own phone. So if privacy is a concern for you, which it is for all of us, then don't worry about that. It's your tool to bring your friends and families out to vote. So what that also tells us is that our second thing to do is to vote on Monday so that our friends won't have to harass us to go out and vote. I need everybody to vote on Monday. And the third thing that we can all do is take a Beto block walk shift. Just at least one. Take at least one shift. This state is giant. But if we all do our part in our own little neck of the woods, then we can cover the territory we need for Beto to win. And while we're knocking doors for Beto, I'm going to ask you to put in a good word for my friend Susan Hayes, who is our Democrat, to be the next agriculture commissioner. She is an ethics lawyer. She is a cannabis lawyer. And she is fighting to unseat a Republican who is anti-woman, anti-Muslim, and who spent your taxpayer dollars to travel across state lines to get this thing called a Jesus shot. So let's vote for Susan Hayes to bring back sanity to our state government. Come on, Susan.
Thank you, Gina. Hey, y'all, I'm Susan Hayes. I'm running for Texas Agriculture Commissioner. I'm an attorney. I have worked on abortion rights, voting rights, and legalizing cannabis in this state. I am running against a guy named Sid Miller who is so bad and so crooked that even Greg Abbott and Dan Patrick won't speak to him. He's that bad. And a big reason why I wanted to run, in addition to legalizing cannabis, promoting health care. This office has the Office of Rural Health Care, rural hospitals. Sid Miller wanted to cut the budget during the pandemic to hospitals. and to Meals on Wheels. It also has school lunches. I wanted to run to fight corruption. And not just that quid pro quo, give me a buck, I'll do what you want corruption, which Miller has all the way up to his eyeballs. His political consultant has now been indicted for trying to sell $100 hemp licenses for tens of thousands of dollars. Cheating farmers, that's how low they are. I am also running against a kind of soft corruption of using your office, using your title, not for the good of this state, but to feather your own nest. Using the office as a billboard to attack people just because they're different so you can win the next Republican primary. These people do not care who they hurt. They do not care who they kill. Not in the pandemic, not during the freeze, and not in our schools. So get out there, vote, turn out everybody you can. Get on that app. We're going to win because they don't see us coming. They say young people do not vote. We'll prove them wrong. So keep it up, guys. We got to work until 7 p.m. on November 8th. Turn out everybody you know. And now I am going to introduce the next state representative from House District 51, somebody I've known for a lot of years. She's done a lot of good works in this world, Lulu Flores.
Hey everyone, how are we doing? Woo! Well, I had a nice speech here written, but you've heard probably everything already, so I'm just going to wing it because this is my district, our district. Welcome to District 51, and thank you, little darling, and thank you, Tiaras, for being constituents of District 51. This is awesome. It's so good to be right in the heart of the district. We have so many issues that we need to address, and I am just proud to be on the ticket with so many wonderful women like Gina Hinojosa and Donna Howard and Susan Hayes. But I'm especially privileged to be on the ballot with the next governor of the state of Texas, Beto O'Rourke. It is beyond, I am so proud to be here, and I am so proud to have been given this honor. But you know what? We are under siege. We are in a crisis. We have a governor and his cronies in elected office who are attacking us relentlessly. They are trying to take away our personal freedoms, and we just cannot have that. We need to throw them out and make change in this state. I'm pissed off. I don't know about you, but I've had it with being disrespected and abused and being lied to. So we need to do everything we can to get behind Beto, to lead the charge, to take this state back for the people of Texas. He is running. Yes. He is running a campaign that is grassroots driven, that is relentless also in his way that he's crisscrossing the state that you just heard. And he is fighting for each and every one of us. He is fighting like I want to fight for the dignity and respect of every Texan. And Beto O'Rourke is going to push us past the Greg Abbott divisive agenda. Yes. We are going to get rid of eliminating funding for public schools and controlling women's bodies and not raising the minimum wage and not expanding Medicaid. We're done with that. We need to make change in the state. So as we say in Espanol, ya basta. Enough is enough. Ya basta. Let's get them out. We need to do everything we can. Beto is working his heart out. Every candidate on the Democratic ticket is working their heart out to make sure we win this election because there is so much at stake. Lives are literally on the line. There are women and children dying because of the draconian laws that the Republicans have foisted on us, and we need to make sure that they get out and take that agenda with them. So, you don't need to hear any more from me. It is my sincere and great honor to introduce the man who is going to take Texas back for the people and who I am going to be proud to call governor, Beto.
Austin, muy buenas tardes. Good to see everybody. Thank you for being with us. All of you. Thank you so much to Katie for organizing us and bringing us together, to Susan for running for this incredibly important statewide office that doesn't get enough attention, for Lulu for representing us in the state legislature, and for Gina for doing such an amazing job. Makes you all proud here in Austin, makes us proud all the way back in El Paso. These are public servants that we are going to fight for and who are fighting for us. Somos de acuerdo. And look, let's even thank the InfoWar guys who are outside. Look, they are getting their money's worth from those bullhorns, which they are going to have to pawn to settle Alex Jones's settlement, right? So they're getting everything they can out of it. Good luck, guys. All right. Look, so as I was driving here from Abilene, where we had an amazing meeting just like this one last night on a Friday in Texas during football season, and people still came out, okay? The night before in Amarillo, Texas, Midland, Odessa, in between, Wichita Falls, Longview, not the places that Democrats typically show up in, but the kind of places that we are going to, and people are turning out. They're standing up just like you to be counted at this defining moment of truth. And I think that there is no accident that all of us have chosen to be here together at this moment. Think about everything that had to come together for you and I to see each other, eyeball to eyeball, face to face, human to human. The planet Earth had to find this beautiful orbit where it wasn't too hot or too cold and where carbon-based life could form, right? Your parents had to meet and they had to like each other and they had to do all these wonderful things to make you in the process, right? And then you had to make the decision. Given everything that is happening in your life right now, you're raising your kids, you're taking care of your folks, you're working your jobs, you're going to school, you're just wanting to drink a beer on a Saturday, but you chose to come here right now and to be part of this movement, this effort, this opportunity to make sure that Texas comes through at this moment of maximum peril. I don't think there's any accident or coincidence about that. And listen, given the things that we are up against right now, this attack on every woman in this state, this attack on every member of the LGBTQ community, this attack on every educator, teacher, counselor, and librarian in the state of Texas, this attack on every child in a state where we lead the nation in school shootings, where gun violence is the leading cause of death, these kids who do not have the right to expect to live out the school year without encountering somebody armed with a weapon of war and having their parents identify them by the shoes that they are wearing or the DNA swab kit that was just sent out by the governor to every single school district in the state of Texas. And then there's this attack on our democracy, on the very right to vote that makes everything, literally everything that we want to do possible. This form of government that is the exception and not the rule over the course of human history and even today on the planet right now. It's enough to make you cry, right? But instead of crying, you're here because you remember that not only can we overcome these challenges, we've overcome them before against much longer odds. For Gina and the other members of the state legislature who were literally willing to walk off the floor of the House to deny that anti-democracy majority, a quorum, to subvert the rule of law and the right to vote, who was willing to risk her job and literally her freedom. They were threatening to arrest her and bring her back by force to stand and witness what was happening on the floor of the House. She knows full well that those who preceded her in that chamber 99 years ago literally outlawed the right to vote amongst African Americans in the state of Texas. It wasn't count how many bubbles are in this bar of soap, or recite this part of the state constitution, or pass this literacy test. It literally, in black and white, in state statute said, if you are black, you cannot vote in Texas. And back in El Paso, my hometown, there was an African-American physician named Dr. Lawrence Nixon, who had never missed an election in his adult lifetime and wasn't going to miss the one in 1924, even though he was not supposed to vote. So he paid his poll tax, as he did every year, walked into fire station number 5, his regular polling place, waited in line, got to the front of it, placed his receipt on the counter, and the election judge says, Dr. Nixon, you know I can't let you vote. And Nixon responded to him, I know you can't, but I've got to try. So he takes that receipt back, takes his case to the Western Federal Court, loses it, appeals it all the way up to the United States Supreme Court, wins not one, but 2 signal victories over the next 21 years, and by 1944 has begun to integrate elections in the state of Texas. But the work wasn't done, right? Because of Jim Crow, far too many of our fellow Americans, our fellow Texans, were denied the right to be treated as full citizens in this state. In fact, at the end of 1964, just after the first Texas president, Lyndon Baines Johnson, had signed the Civil Rights Act, Martin Luther King and Andrew Young tried to prevail upon him to work on the Voting Rights Act, to make sure that everyone could get on the rolls, everyone could cast a ballot, and every voice could be heard. LBJ is said to have told them, look, I like what you're saying, you're doing the right thing, but this is just too heavy a lift after the Civil Rights Act. I simply do not have the power to get it done. So as they were leaving, King turns to Young and says, we've got to go out there and get this president some power. And over the coming days and weeks and months, they did just that. Folks just like us, in meetings just like this one, committed themselves to the work ahead to give that president some power. And on the 8th of March, 1965, one of those who had committed themselves, named John Lewis, all of 24 years old, attempts to cross the Edmund Pettus Bridge in Selma, Alabama, and almost loses his life in the process, but so shocks the conscience of the country that within a week, LBJ convenes a joint session of Congress. Every senator, every House member brings them together and says, look, what he was willing to die for, you have the power to confer right now at our moment of truth. And he said something to the effect of, as it was at Lexington and Concord in our fight for freedom from the British Empire, as it was at that courthouse in Appomattox in 1865, so it is right now in America, in Alabama, in Selma, in 1965. His sacrifice, his struggle, his service made the voting rights possible, which LBJ signs into law later that summer. What I'm telling you is that if they could overcome those odds, that violence, and produce the first multiracial democracy in American history, we can do our part at this moment of truth right now. You with me? When you think about it, we are the heirs. We have received everything that they've done, every person before us. All that sacrifice has come to this moment right now on the 22nd of October, 2022. And what we do with this inheritance will determine our future. And it will define us in the eyes of our kids and in the pages of history forever going forward. Because as much as I have just talked about the past and even the formation of this planet, I got to tell you that what I fear more than anything else is the judgment of our kids. And at one point or another, they will look back on us from the future to see how we acquitted of ourselves when we had every single one of these challenges before us and when there was still time in which to act. They want to know that we came through. They want to know that we fought to ensure that every woman makes her own decisions about her own body, her own future, and her own health care. They want to know that we prioritize the lives of our kids over the interests of the NRA or the gun lobby or anybody else for that matter. They want to see that we have the backs of their teachers by paying them enough not to work a second or a third job. and treating them with enough respect to cancel the STAR test so they could focus on those kids in front of them in that classroom. They want to know that in the most incarcerated country on the planet, we put more people behind bars here in Texas than any other state. We did the right thing and not only legalized marijuana, but expunged the arrest records for everyone who has served time for possession of a substance that's legal in most of the rest of the country already. And when it comes to this democracy, they want to make sure that we won and that we fix it so that every eligible citizen can vote. That means online voter registration and same-day voter registration and automatic voter registration so that when you turn 18, you are ready to go. It also means this: replacing these gerrymandered districts where members of Congress choose their own voters with citizen-led redistricting commissions that we come up with. And wouldn't it be nice if we replaced Confederate Heroes Day as a state holiday with Election Day as state holiday so you could take the day off and actually vote? But the only way to get this done is with all of us doing all we can with what we have where we are. It literally is going to take that from all of us. And our volunteers who are in these high visibility yellow construction vests have in their hands a clipboard with open shifts to go knock on doors. And hear me out. I will not put you on the doors of those who are guaranteed to vote for Beto and have never missed an election, are not going to miss this election. We don't need to talk to them. I'm not going to put you on the doors for those who, hell or high water, are going to vote for Greg Abbott, and they never miss an election for him. The people I will put you in front of, and this is my promise to you, are those who have been drawn out of this democracy through voter suppression and voter intimidation. The people who are likely to be with us but need a nudge or an invitation to come in right now. The number one reason given by the more than 200,000 people in Travis County who did not vote in 2020, though they were eligible to do so, was that no one ever asked them. Those 200,000 and the 90,000 more that have since registered, that's almost 300,000 people. And we only lost to Ted Cruz by 216,000 votes last time. The margin of victory is literally here in Travis County. Would it not be some pretty powerful, profound, poetic political justice if the very people drawn out are the ones that we bring in and they provide the margin of victory when we win this thing on the night of November 8th? You all ready to win? I'm ready to win this with you. I am so grateful that you're here. Let's do all we can. Please sign up before you leave. We're going to hang out to take a picture, say hello, listen to this great music from these extraordinary musicians. Let's hear it for everybody who made this possible. Tip your server and have a great time. Les agradezco. Thank you.
All right, y'all listen carefully. We're going to do photo line over here. It's crunched, okay? So the photo line is going to go, look at my hand, line up this way. I'll try and keep you in the shade, all right? This way, right past the bar, convenient.